G'day everyone, welcome back to Final Fantasy XVI. I hope you're all doing well. I gotta say, holy shit, has it been weird. We've had so many technical issues. We're gonna go story focus this time. See the difference. And yeah, it's just been hectic.
Moss the Chronicler who said that the land of Valisthea is blessed in the light of the Mother Crystals, and that it was this light which finally led our forebears out of the darkness. Yet, what they saw in the light gave rise to temptation. Temptation that ever lures us back into the crystal shadow. And thus did our journey begin.
Alright, just checking. Is this where it happens? Hold on. Right, so one thing you notice with Ifrit is he's a fire summon. He's a fire god. And in the pre-release celebration, you get to see Ifrit fight Garuda and all that. And the weird thing is, when Ifrit moves around trees, they burn, like almost instantaneously. But here, he's right next to the trees, and they're not even burnt. He's right next to a tree, and they're not even burnt. So either his full flame potential hasn't, like, sparked yet, and he doesn't burn trees just as yet. Maybe it's an ability where he has, like, an AoE damage. If monsters are too close, they take damage, and that's what affects the trees. But, like, right here, trees are fine. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't even have to aim at the moment. It's automatic. We got Ifrit just sliding down. Hold on. Sliding down very obvious, like, smoothed out rock for him to slide down. Like, I don't think the other rocks look that similar. Like, they're not all smooth, they're very rough. And where the heck are they now? Like, you see lots of towers, like, standing up in this big, huge area underneath the ground. And a great transition to the present time. Setting dates. Pointing out areas. I still want to know what that tattoo on their face means. You know it means they're a kind of a slave.
It'll be light soon. Both camps have begun to stir.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant. And only the dominant.
No one else? Where's the fun in that? How do we even know the girl will be among them?
Our kind do not question orders. We follow them. Try to keep that in mind.
The designs look very spear-like. Also looks like a clock hand. And he's just straight up able to use water, okay. We can skip this if we want. Okay.
Focus, Wyvern.
Oh, okay.
You are key to this mission's success.
Yes, Sergeant.
Pressing the touchpad. Pressing down on the touchpad does that.
I said focus, Wyvern.
No. Jump off cliff. So those who don't know what exactly is going on right now, I've already showed this off. We're actually just checking out more of the game, see if there's stuff that we missed. We're very close to the shoreline. We seem to be infiltrating through a chasm on the cliffside. A lot of spiral architecture here. Not sure if that's man-made or not. Maybe it could have been Titan that made it. He's got very similar designs on his on him. But it's hard to tell.
Time to move.
I can finally run and I can't jump off. Let's go back to see if we can go somewhere with the jumping. Nope. Worth a try. And we can open up the book. Yeah, let's give these a look. The brand. So this is the thing I've been wanting to know. The mark applied to the cheeks of bearers, identifying them as something other than human. The great nations of Velesthi have a long-standing accord to the brand their bearers in this way, that the slaves might be traded across borders. I see. So they were slaves. Alright. The Nisa Defile, a deep arid valley located in the eastern part of the Dalmatian Republic. During the Battle of the Twin Realms in 1865, it was the site of repeated skirmishes as the Iron Kingdom attempted to make incursions into the Dalmatian territory. Alright. Okay. The bastards. That's okay. The unit trained assassins deployed by Nissa Defile deep within the Dalmatian territory and tasked with the eliminations of the enemy dominant. So, if we look back on the previous stream, we know that this guy, Clive, isn't with the Dalmatian. He was actually with another name. I can't remember the name. I think it was Rosia. Rosia. So he got captured and branded. One thing I noticed is that the two people fighting. So the people with the big cloaks and the axes. Wait, what's this? Active time wall. Oh, okay. The Iron Crusade. Fighting force of the Iron Kingdom. Ultimate command rests with their king, who issues orders directly from the commanders of each of his battalions. Iron Blood soldiers generally prefer heavy clubs and great axes over swords and other lighter weapons. This rather brutal approach is indicative of their overall attitude, which has earned them a reputation on the continent as savage, if somewhat primitive warriors. They kind of look like Vikings, which is what I was trying to get at. And then we got the Dalmatian Republic. The nation forms a federation of 5 smaller states. It is located in the southern half of the continent of Storm and has its capital of Randella. It is also home to the mother crystal known as Drake's Fang. There is no official state religion, and citizens are free to worship as they please. Dalmacia's key political entity is the Parliament, which is formed of ministers representing each of the states, with the Prime Minister at its head. So that's pretty much like most countries here. That's under, I forget what we're called, but that a Parliament, pretty much. That's how it's like in Australia. But yeah, so what I was trying to get at is these guys here look like Vikings, so they might have come from like a very cold area. And later we're going to find out that Shiva is going to be fighting Titan. And we have these two people here where it's people from mountains or very cold places are fighting these people, which have a very Persian, Egyptian style to them. So literally the snowy tundras versus the arid deserts. Shiva, the Ice Queen, versus Titan, the Earth God. How very representative is this? I say as they're throwing what looks to be ice fire crystals at us. I don't understand it, but hey.
The way this is going, they won't need this new dominant of theirs. What?
I think I'm going to turn up the voices up a little bit. So if I stop this, have they added more to it? They have. Men's of the Fist. Dalmacia's standing army, while officially an organ of the Republic, each of its 5 states granted. Wait, did I read this already? No. Granted a relative autonomy with regards to the management of its troops. Aside from certain specialized squads, battle deployments are mostly comprised of small units employing a mixture of foot soldiers and battle mages. The former are known and feared for their curved swords and prodigious axe, and a deadly skill with which they wield them. Okay.
To the gates! Quickly! Move!
What do you mean you refuse? Did you not pledge your swords to our cause?
Come now. Marshal, the King of Waloed is our guest.
You're Waloed. And here we are. So, okay. So we're in Fort Zenitra. Stronghold situated in the western end of the Nisa, defiled of the Dalmatian Republic. In the year 1873, it served as the site of a meeting convened by the Dalmatians and their Waloed allies in an attempt to enlist their aid in driving back the Ironblood, who have been a thorn in their side since the Battle of the Twin Realms 8 years before. Okay. The Kingdom of Waloed. So, from what I understand, this kingdom right here is the one that houses Garuda, and these guys house Titan. Alright. The sole surviving nation in Ash, Waloed has its capital in Stonehir, home of the Mother Crystal of Drake's Spine, a warlike land. Its considerable military might serves to keep neighboring countries at bay, while Waloed does maintain a notional alliance with the Dalmatian Republic in Southern Storm. It's very much a marriage of convenience. Oh, okay, so like they're only together because two people like each other. Gotcha. There's Titan back there.
And you have His Majesty's answer.
Now, that's a really interesting thing here. So we see people who are able to cast magic without a crystal, but we also see them cast magic with a crystal. So these people who are branded are able to do it without a crystal, but the people who aren't branded do. So that must mean like they've naturally got this inheritance of magic. They kind of mentioned it before with the branded, but yeah. And that's Garuda. That's very misleading. Really thought she froze that for some reason, but it still makes less sense. How she lit that.
I wonder that you summoned us at all. Have you so little faith in your own men? It was the Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms, was it not?
What do you know? Every time they speak or talk about something, it adds something to this. The Battle of the Twin Realms. The Battle of the Twin Realms was a conflict fought between the Holy Empire and Sanbreque, and the Kingdom of Waloed in the year 1865. Sambrique forces, with the power of the icon Bahamut. Bahamut. Oh, on their side, took the Strait of Athua back from Waloed, putting an end to a blockade that had lasted several decades, and were looters looking to hold back the Sembricoes. Forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce that last word. Advanced by any means necessary, formed an alliance with the Dalmatian Republic, who themselves were waging war against the Iron Kingdom on the Western Front, and prevented the Empire from progressing any further. The plot
Am I
thickens.
mistaken? Besides, your dominant has yet to take the field.
Because I don't wanna.
And when he does, our knights would only get in the way.
Perhaps you have not heard, but the Ironblood now have their own dominant.
Shiva.
We would be fools to underestimate them.
Bugger that.
Right, so they used the keyword, dominant. We all know what a dominant is right now. It's pretty much someone who has a summon inside them, but hey, let's see if the game can enlighten us. Those within whom sleeps the power of an icon. Yeah, there you go. Though they look and think no differently to any other man or woman, they can not only cast elemental magics without a crystal, but also transform themselves into beasts of world-shattering strength at any moment, a quality for which they are honored, worshipped, and feared over the realm. So it would stand to reason that some of these uh, dominants can also be like part of the branded.
Knights.
What did you say?
Should this citadel be allowed to fall, the capital will lie exposed. And I doubt the Crusaders will wait for the good king's pawns to line up before taking to the board.
I don't know why you're treating your own.
Which just leaves me.
I don't know why you're treating him like shit. He's on your side.
The Iron Blood will rue the day they set foot on Storm.
Anything new? No. So we're going to be doing this a lot, so yeah, excuse that.
This game is over.
We're just looking for key words, trigger words, and see if they have an explanation to them.
You cock.
Hey, she said cock, maybe they have something on cock. No. I wonder if they would explain their relationship. I doubt it.
Take care.
Garnier.
Does the lion take care when he chases the hare? Or do you think
G'day,
you're
King.
one of the latter?
Hope you're doing well.
My love. You are a lion.
What's a lion in this world?
You're my lion.
I'm not afraid of a little frost, Benedicta. But I will need someone to warm me when I come home.
Nope. Oh, I can't do it at the moment. Oh, I don't need to press start. Okay. I could just do it automatically from the touchpad.
This is our chance. The chaos will conceal us.
Another thing we have to consider is how is this written down? So active Time Lord. So this is only in like right at this moment. Doing fine, just waiting to get home and maybe get some sleep. Oh, that sounds great, man. Markiplier acknowledging the bearers, identifying them as something other than human. Right. So just something other than human. Which makes, like, again, it makes sense. That, like, this guy here can be seen as the branded. But I'm wondering, why isn't Titan and Garuda also branded? Like, maybe, oh my god, that's horrible textures. Come on, come on, come on, Square Enix. You can do better than that. You think we're not gonna look down here? That's a messy rock. No, they think they'll be looking all the way out there. Look at these cool looking patterns that just have no reason to be on the side of a cliff. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally looking there. But who took the shit down there? I'm not that guy who asked paleontologists to show paleontologists a used pad and be like, what period is this from? Yeah, make them blush.
And quick and deadly, as always. Take the van.
The uniforms are interesting.
Something's not right.
We have Titan. Nothing yet. I think we need a word to trigger it. There we go. We actually need someone to say something. The Warden of Earth, of whom Hugo Kupka is the current dominant. So we learned that Titan has been through different people throughout the years. But we figured that out in the last stream. But this one actually outright says it. There have been other dominants that have held the power of an icon. He takes the form of the stone-skinned giant, whose granite fists shake the earth with every mighty pummel. Titan's dominant awakens among people of the Damakian deserts, the recipient of his strength being granted great power and the status by the Republic in return for a commitment to protect the nation in times of war.
So the Darmaks finally grew tired of being slaughtered.
So we got Shiva there. I want to see if it actually triggers.
And look who's here to greet the bastard.
I want to see when it can actually be triggered. Maybe they don't have to say the name. They just have to see something in particular. Shiva? Oh. Stunning visuals. There we go, we just had to get a good close look at Shiva. The Warden of Ice, whose appearance on the battlefield makes her enemies' blood run cold. The Iron Blood sent Shiva against the Republican forces in Nysa Defile, where she dueled against Titan, the icon of Earth. Who is she? We have no idea yet. I mean, if you've been paying attention to the trailers and the little tidbits they give about all the icons, you can figure out who this is right now. But story-wise, we don't know. makes me wonder, do the icons change? Excuse me, do the icons change depending on their dominant? Because Titan here is bald, and he does look like Hugo, just a little bit. Do we ever get to see another version of this? Like, is there a picture of a previous dominant who was Titan? Or Shiva? Or Ramu? Or anyone? The answer might shock you. Or not. Why do you keep calling me Wyvern? Still don't want to explain that. I won't know. Nope, I'm going this way. I'm gonna walk. I'm in no hurry. No hurry. Nothing. Nothing's happening. Alright. Another part pause. Nothing. Yee, no rush. How am I doing? I'm doing the KJJ. How are you doing? I hope you both enjoying your weekend. The shit is happening, but it's not really affecting us. Excuse me? Why many fucks? Why do you give many fucks? That was funny. I think I triggered something. Oop. No. Okay, I thought that little symbol just showed up. What is that, a monolith? Whee! Alright. Can I climb back up? No, I cannot. God, I hope they get rid of the motion blur. I really do. It's so gross. Can we see anything? We see Shiva doing shit. Doesn't like anything that Titan's actually doing. Who knows? Maybe we'll find an Easter egg or something, like a little cactus or a baby chocobo or something. A tonberry even. Touch me a bone, Square Enix. I'm trying to milk you as much as I can through this gameplay. Don't want to go down there yet. Oh, thank you! For some reason. I'm good, but a little disappointed because I want to jump back on GTA Online just because they have new content. But there was news that the game is bugged. Yeah, that game's been bugged for ages, man. Hey Kane, how's Final Fantasy 16? And removed some 180... They removed 186 cars? Why? Were they just not being used? Final Fantasy 16 is going good. I'm just looking at more... That is totally a floating rock. Yoshi P, fix your rocks. Picture rocks. Oh, Jojo! How do you feel about the new City Skylines game coming out? I know you like City Skylines. You got the UI. This is Overworld UI, which is really useful. Which is really, really useful. I'm glad Halo inspired this. I think Halo was the first one. You're hyped? I'm glad to hear. It looks good. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, is this going to be a new... Are they going to bring out SimCity? And like, it's like, no, it's not SimCity. City Skylines 2. I'm like, oh, but oh. It looks very beautiful. The road building is just leaped and bounds compared to the last one. It really looks like they've improved, and yeah. I haven't played any of them. I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of gameplay of it, and man, it looks so pretty. It looks so smart. Yeah, they did, and my friend is pissed off that the main theory is that Rockstar wants to sell those cars on GTA 6. Again, of those cars are old and GTA 5 needs more space. Yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb. I feel sorry for the car collectors in that game. Though I don't think you can hold too many. He's dead. Tell me something about him. Nope, still nothing.
Wyvern!
Give me something, game. We're trying to scrap. We're trying to take any little scraps from this.
I told you before, you do not get to die here.
Why? Explain to me why. Why am I so importante? Damn it! They don't want to. They don't want me to know, like what Destiny 2 did, dropping out some old DLC for more space. Doesn't seem like a good idea. Just to drop a DLC because of it. "13 summers earlier. Rosalith, the Grand Duchy of Rosia. Rosia, there we go.
Well, if you're not cut out to be a shield, there's always work for you in the stables. Unless, of course, you think you can defend your master while sat on your arse in a puddle of pig swell.
I'm sure he'd find a way. My brother always looks after me. Right?
Go on. You're sure to hit him eventually.
Don't give up now.
Teach me about the... Tell me more about dog. Rosalith Castle, situated in the heart of the ducal capital of Rosalith. It's from the towering ivory fortress that the Archduke and his family rule their nation. An architectural feat, and feat the founder himself would be proud of. The founder, so that sounds like a god to me. The castle has stood since the early days of the duchy, and watched over the rise of this proud nation, and the people who inhabit the city beneath. So they're putting the cars behind a paywall.
Wouldn't do to disappoint the gallery.
Man, they must be desperate for money if they're doing that. They don't get enough money from those shark cards. There is too much money. I find it hard to believe that they would struggle like that. Ah, I could skip it because I've already done it. So the game remembers even though I've started a new game.
See? I told you he could do it.
didn't even do anything! Isn't he brilliant? Alright. Clive Rossfield, firstborn of the Archduke Elwin, ruler of Rosaria. From a young age, Clive dedicated himself to mastering the blade, and his practice paid off when he was appointed First Shield of Rosaria. Tasked to guard the Phoenix and blessed with the ability to wield a part of his fire. Rodney. Hey, Murdoch. I used to study there. Lord Commander of Rosarian Army. Not only is he a skilled warrior and a loyal guardian of Rosefield household, he is also a fine tutor. Indeed, it was he who trained Clive in the secrets of swordplay. While he may be a hard taskmaster, his belief and trust in the shield that serve under him make him a much-loved leader. Right, so let's learn about the blessing of the Phoenix. So he can cast fire for some reason. The boon Joshua bestowed upon his brother upon Clive's ordination as First Shield, allowing him to wield fire aspect magic without a crystal. So there we go. If you normally you can't use magic without a crystal in this game. Like excuse me, you need a crystal to use magic. But this just changes it. So if you're gifted the right to use someone else's magic, they boon them. Never too much money. Yeah, never too much money. Greed. Rockstar's really milking a 10-year-old game dry. What is this world coming to? Excuse me. Without a crystal. It has long been accustomed in Rosaria for the dominant of the Phoenix to share a part of their power in this way, performing this rite of rejuvenation upon those they appoint as their protectors, that they might serve them the better. So these guys just have this rite of rejuvenation. That's what gives them the fire. So I wonder if it's just him or if it's the rest of the First Shield. Title granted to the mightiest, most stalwart shield of the Rosarian army. The First Shield is entrusted with the personal protection of the dominant Phoenix. It is gifted a portion of the icon's power over flame, a boon known as the Blessing of Phoenix. Alright, so that's not the name of the army. The First Shield, which is Clive, is the title that he holds.
Rested at last. It's taken me long enough. That was a display worthy of your father. You are a true shield of the flame, and let no one tell you otherwise.
Oh my god, hey Foxy, how you doing?
What are you lot gawping at? Back to your drills.
But I like how they have wooden swords. Our little red mage.
Joshua, I was just tired. The Phoenix's flames are a gift. You mustn't waste them.
It isn't a waste. My shields look after me. Why shouldn't I?
That's why. You were coughing this morning too. You shouldn't be outdoors.
I'll be fine. It's just a cold.
Don't push yourself.
His Grace has returned!
Father's back.
Hey.
Your Grace, please, this is no place for one such as you. I would gladly brave hell itself to see my darling boy.
Man, like, she...
Gentlemen, Rosaria thanks you for your indefatigable loyalty.
Thank you, Your Grace.
She seems nice right at the beginning, but then right now she starts to seem like a bitch.
Joshua,
And you think, oh, she's gonna fuck everyone over.
you should not be out of doors. We have discussed this.
I'm
Just
sorry.
that. He ain't happy
Good day
about
to
it.
you, Mother.
Then her response to that, just no,
Come, Joshua.
hated,
Your father will be expecting us.
absolutely livid.
Lord Murdoch?
Your Grace.
So I get the feeling they're
What a
stepbrothers.
way to treat your own flesh and blood.
Hmm.
No, it's not his fault. Not everyone can be born the Phoenix.
We should join them.
At least he's given his sword. Can we learn anything? I think I might have missed something. I got too wrapped up in the cutscene. No? Said it once and I'll say it again. White chocobos known to give you back your MP.
Rise, my friends.
Okay, Zinti, take care.
Welcome home, Father.
And Stream Elements isn't Michael.
Thank you, Joshua. You are well, I trust.
Yes, Father. Much better. Today, Jill and I went to the bailey to watch Clive's spa.
There we go. Jill Warwick. Alright, we've got 3 new names. So I think we missed out on the Queen's name. Alright, Elwyn Rossfield, Archduke of the Grand Duchy of Rosia, and Rosaria, and father of Clive and Joshua, loved by his people for his steadfast leadership, both at home and on the battlefield, which he put to good effect in quelling the rebellious Northern Territories. So there's somewhere south. So that has been said. They're in the south areas. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. Yeah, somewhere. Right. Jill Warwick. Born a princess of the Northern Territory. Wait, weren't they just fighting the Northern Territories? Jill was made a ward of Rosaria after her homeland incessant raids were quelled by the duchy. She was raised in Rosalith Castle alongside Clive and Joshua, who came to love her as a sister. So she's an adopted sister, or she's a family friend. Second son of the Archduke of Rosaria, Joshua was appointed heir to the ducal throne by virtue of his awakening as the dominant of the Phoenix. His love and admiration for his elder brother Clive is absolute. He is only too proud to have him serve as his first shield. His love for carrots, less so. Carrots? Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. The game's trying to be funny. Oh.
Is that so?
Quiet, Torgal. Stop it.
They said a name! Damn it.
Not now.
You'll make a fine hound one day.
He said hound. That was... Excuse me, it was hound. Torgal, Clive's faithful friend, brought back from one of Archduke Elwyn's expeditions to the frozen Northern Territories. We found half-starved and shivering in a snowfield. Having presumably been separated from his pack, Alwyn gifted the puppy to Clive upon his return, and the two became nigh inseparable. Aww.
Father. Lift up.
So wherever Jill came from, that dog came from a place very close by,
Thank you, Your
if
Grace.
not the same place.
The capital rejoices at your safe return, Your Grace.
War is coming, my boy. We must make ready.
War, you say? Nothing worth mentioning, though.
Is the situation truly so grave?
Come to the throne room. We will talk there.
Yes, Father. Your Grace. Shields dismissed.
Sid Shields. It's gonna get obnoxious like this, but you have to do it like this.
Torgal.
Because you actually might miss something. Butterfly, maybe? No?
Where do you think you're going? Clive here is off to see the Archduke.
Right.
Because it's not only just, like, words that trigger more information. It's scenes. So, whether it be at, like, a transition, or, like, a certain timing within a cutscene. Not sure.
Is trouble brewing?
I'm not sure.
Right. Flame summoned the night, burns red as the twin titans clash. Dressed in flame, they vie for dominance. One beacons hope, other aberration. An affront to the laws of nature. There's no room in this world for both. There can be only one icon of fire. To kill a dominant. As dawn breaks over the... Oh, okay, so, right. We're going through this. Yeah. We've seen this.
Need to speak with Father.
System. Now what I want to try and find is... Story message? Time law. No. Oh, hold the access... Yeah, no, that's not what... So there might be something around for us to actually just look at. We've got a pretty barren looking outside. Like, the place looks like it's surrounded in mist out there. We got stables where our chocobo is staying.
in fine fettle, my lord. Isn't that right, Ambrosia?
We have predator birds.
You could learn a thing or two from them.
Not after they've been burned to sin.
We pretty much looked at this already.
Make sure you get a good edge on that, eh?
I know. I'm not about to send our lads off to war with dull blades.
So, from what I understand, like, you can see crystal right there, so this guy can't just inherently use magic. So they must have some sort of, like, mana pool. Hi to you too. Some sort of mana. Like, they have magic. They just can't do anything with it unless they have a catalyst.
She's heard this speech before.
Funny words, funny noises it makes.
They've closed the gates.
They said gates.
The side entrance is still open.
Can I jump over this? Maybe if I glitch through it. Let me glitch. Can you ride Chocobo in the demo? You cannot, unfortunately. As much as I would love to ride the Chocobos, you can't. Not in the demo. Yeah, I know. But it's something to look forward to for the main game, because surely, since you actually have a Chocobo, you might be able to ride it. And since your character knows how to ride a Chocobo, that wouldn't prevent him from riding one later if something happens to that Chocobo. Which I'm pretty sure something does happen to that Chocobo. What do you do if I keep bumping into you? You got good rag physics on you. Actually, let me look at how you're dressed. I don't want to upskirt you though. That I don't need to know. You've got a necklace around you. You got an overshirt. You got a... I forget what that's called. A corset. Can you please stop looking at me? I'm trying to check you out. Nah, the dog's covering up. Good news. Yeah, so it's still unsure, but like Final Fantasy games have never really stopped you from riding Chocobos. The only time they have is if there isn't any Chocobos in the game. Otherwise, they'd let you ride it in every single game, I'm pretty sure. Wait. 1, they couldn't because it wasn't in there. 2, they couldn't because it wasn't in there. 3 lets you. 4 lets you. 5 gives you a Chocobo at the start and lets you. 6, yes. 7, yes. 8. 9, yes. 10, yes. 11, yes. I don't know about 12. I think 12 was a special case where you couldn't actually use them. They just teleported you. 13, yes. 14, yes. 15, yes. Yeah, so that might, yeah. All of them that have, Final Fantasy, all the Final Fantasies that have Chocobos in them do let you ride them, so this game would not stop you. It shouldn't stop you. What are we talking about? What type of food do they have? Bread and meat. God, please tell me that's pie. Because that would be a really rancid looking cheese otherwise. So, and they have apples? Capsicum, apples. So they're pretty much just commoners. So, shield captain.
That was a thrilling bout, my lord.
I couldn't look away.
Can't help but notice there's a little icon of, like, it looks like a beak when they're talking. I wonder if I can trigger it again.
Make sure all the crystals
There we go. Oh no, that's 3 dots. Wonder what that means.
All right. Let's get this.
There we go.
Right before the
Speaking.
Duchess calls for our heads. Right you are.
And then it has... Okay. Right, their flag. It looks like a, It looks like a phoenix on a pendant. Or a bow. Hard to tell. well stocked around the place, so we're pretty much just in the barracks area of like the kingdom, which makes sense since, you know, going around with a sword. There's the training grounds right there. You, who are
Forgive me,
you?
my lord, but I need to finish inspecting these crystals.
Wouldn't do to give our soldiers spent shards.
Spent shards.
Forgive me, my lord, but I need to finish inspecting these crystals.
Wouldn't do to give our soldiers spent shards.
Spent shards. So that's what they refer to them as shards. Not crystals. Shards. So maybe like they do, like this game does have mother crystals in it. Like each kingdom houses a crystal, and they all have names like Drake's something, which I think this one is the Drake's Flames. Alright, so we're gonna activate a cutscene here. A different kind of apple. And here we have the branded.
Good as new. Forgive me, Lord Marquess, pray do not concern yourself with this bungling cur. Bow to him, you fool. Don't I say to speak?
What's that on his waist?
It was no trouble, really. Oh, do not indulge him. To be allowed to stand in your lordship's presence is more than his kind deserves. Why, neither the Empire nor the Republic treat their bearers half so well. He was lucky to be born in your father's dominion. Very lucky, as I remind him every day. Stand, please. Stand. I trust his good fortune will continue. Of course, if that is your lordship's wish. Don't work too hard. Remember, it is for the good of the duchy that you serve.
Again, he sounds way too old for that.
As do we all.
Okay, Ken. Take care.
As do we all. Come along now. Back to your duties.
Right, so we can actually go back and talk to them. I'm pretty sure. Just have to remember where the heck they are. There they are.
The Phoenix will be with us.
I assure you,
Slave
my
master.
lord, my man and I labor always for the glory of the duchy.
Okay. Now let me look at the thing that's on your waist. It looks like a crystal. Water or ice crystal. Maybe it's like their version of a bottle. So all he has to do is imbue it, and water just comes out. No, you're not gonna react. I noticed some of the soldiers actually do their salute towards you. Yeah, see? They do the two-handed sword grab. Do you do it? No. Do you do it? Yep. There we go. So they're very respectful towards our character.
All the crystals are accounted for.
Are you also branded? You are also branded. I wonder why they're treated so badly. So, most of them, or if not all of them, all their deal is
Getting ready for supper.
they can do that, odd. You actually need the crystal to do that, so... What gives?
I'm having my bearer fill the well, my lord. Best to save what crystals we can, eh?
Wheat harvest's down again, apparently.
Can you give me an explanation? Oh, there we go. So we got bearers and we got the brand. So what are the bearers? A person with the power to cast magics without a crystal. In Velisthea, men and women who awaken as bearers are enslaved. They are marked with a brand upon their cheek and used as tools, a cheaper alternative to the scarce and precious shards. This system of slavery has persisted for centuries and has become so ingrained in Velisthian life that a few take pity upon the bearer's plight, seeing them as less than human. That doesn't make sense to me. The mark applied to the cheek of the bearers across Velisthesia, identifying them as nothing other than human. Newborn babies are checked at birth. Those who are found to be bearers being branded and taken into the custody of the state. Rarely, bearers evade this test either, because their parents hide them. The testers are lax in their duties, or their powers do not awaken until later, yet most do not remain unbranded for long. So they eventually just get founded. So basically that's what their deal is. They can use magics without crystal. They can still use the crystal, which might... So I think the deal might be is, depending on where you're born, you can cast magic of a specific element. Otherwise, you can use a crystal to do something else, like that. So like majority of the people here, if you're branded, you might be able to cast fire. Otherwise, just use that. So he can probably use that as well. I'm guessing, like the slave master. But he wouldn't want to expend his own like mana. Why not just get the slave to do it? Which is quite whoa. Mean. Wait, hang on, so the unbranded cast spells? Apparently so. The thing is that the unbranded needs the crystals to cast magic. I think that's what the deal is. But the branded can cast spells without the crystals. That's just one other thing. They're just using him. Salute. No? No salute? Okay. How about you?
Fine display, my lord. Almost felt sorry for the Lord Commander.
Oh, thank you for the salute. Hypodion.
Fine display, my lord. Almost felt sorry.
I almost felt sorry for you. Aha. Oh, he vaulted up. Okay. Oh, whoa. How obnoxious. What if I go over here? So technically the branded are more superior. I guess so. Unless there's another part that we're missing. I feel like this, like that type of thing has been seen in other like stories. Oh, you use magic. We're going to enslave you, or something or other.
Nice and quiet in here, isn't it?
The down garden. No. And this is the thing. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, you go say hello. So this is what I'm talking about. So Even though this kingdom has like firepower because of the Phoenix, this guy can use wind. So maybe he has heritage in the kingdom where Gerudo's from, and they traded him, and right now he's using that wind to cut trees. Alexius wants to talk about magic in Final Fantasy games just used for common day use. Not many of them actually really do use magic for common day use. Like stuff like this. It's more for war. That's usually what it is.
Marquis.
But
Forgive my man, he'll be done in a jiffy.
You said jiffy.
Tidied up for the big procession. Marquis. Forgive my man.
He's just cutting it up. And open that. See, but some of these just looks like weeds. They just look like weeds to me. But apparently, the gardeners don't see anything wrong with them, so I guess they're not. Yummy. So one thing we did was we talked to Joshua first. What if we talked to Her Majesty first?
Comfort and safety before your own. Do you understand? Yes, Your Grace.
Hello. 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 And then there's this guy doing absolutely nothing.
My lord, it's not how it looks. I'm, inspecting the castle walls by order of the Duchess.
Right. Right. He's counting the bricks. Lazy. I can respect that. Alright, we'll talk to you. What do you want, short stack?
Clive?
Yes? Yes?
Are you worried about the war?
The soldiers will expect the Phoenix to help them, but I don't know if I can.
Don't worry, Joshua. Father will guide you. And I will protect you. Always.
Aww.
I know.
Good brother.
Thank you, Clive.
Yeah.
I'm alright. I promise. I'm alright. I promise.
I didn't really get a good look at your sword. It is a sword. That is all there is to it.
That child is the future of our nation. He must be protected. All other concerns are insignificant.
Please, let me learn something about this bitch. Nah, nothing. Doesn't want to tell me anything about her. I feel like I missed out the opportunity. Whoops, right. Really do like how the trigger puts force into stopping me pressing it down.
Good luck.
Toodles. Nothing. See a more fleshed out emblem on the
Commanded my
sides.
presence, Your Grace. How may I serve you?
All right, you can stop licking my boots.
Boots, he said boots. Ah, okay, there's more on Rodney. Lord Commander of Rosarian Army, outranked by only the Archduke Elwyn, who is not only his liege lord, but his firm friend. The two share an unshakable bond of trust. Elwyn consulting with Rodney on all the military matters.
Isn't here.
Do the territories fare any better?
Most lie under a pall of black. In just these few moons, the Blight has taken nigh on all of the northern reaches. It is only...
The Deadlands. Something about that. The barren waste bereft of ether, where no life stirs, and magic is all but unstable, unusable. Here, both earth and water are stained black, preventing any seed from quickening. So, because this was made by Yoshi P, I'm starting to see that he's just reusing a whole lot of magic idealisms from Final Fantasy XIV. So, like, places with no Aether are usually just dead lands. Like they said here, the Deadlands. You can see this in there's a place in Final Fantasy XIV called the Burn, where it's completely devoid of any magic. Like, the world is made of ether, Aether even, and that pretty much just shows that there's life. If you had Aether there, you would see trees, you would see some sort of vegetation, some sort of growth. If there was none, it's pretty much like a desert, but even more dead looking. It's like not only just no vegetation, it's like no color as well. So this might be something similar to that. Here both earth and water are stained black, preventing any seed from quickening. In recent years, the blight has spread ever more widely, displacing whole nations before it, driving once peaceable fauna to violent desperation and leaving silent devastation in its wake. So it's even more deadlier. Hence why it's just called Deadlands. So it's something else, like a rot just takes over and turns monsters even more aggressive.
By the flames.
Nearly every available bed in the capital is already occupied by those fleeing the Deadlands. Even if we were to send them south, to Port Isolde, more would only follow in their wake.
Can you tell me about Port Isola? No?
Every day we do.
No.
Delay brings us closer to disaster. We must move now.
Against the Iron Kingdom.
Here we go, the Iron Kingdom. So these are the Iron Bloods, I think their name. Also known as in the Logoton as Hereren. The Iron Kingdom is an archipelago nation situated off the west coast of Storm, with its capital at Craig Lowiskit. Whatever that fucking name is. The mother crystal Drake's Breath rises from a volcanic island situated within. Oh, so Drake's Breath isn't from Rosaria. Okay. Or without its borders, depending on whom you ask, and has been the subject of long-standing conflict between the Ironblood and the neighboring Duchy of Rosaria. The Iron Kingdom's inhabitants shun any contact with outsiders, which have given rise to a unique, if largely inward-looking culture. So, right at the start of the game, we saw the Iron Bloods with Shiva. So, that's probably what they look like.
We have traded blows with them for too long. It is time to end it.
At the very least, we must secure Drake's Breath.
Right, their Mother Crystal.
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our realm from the spread of the Blight.
more explanation on... Alright, Mother Crystal. Mother Crystals, enormously glassy mountains. Oh, they're mountains! Okay, 5 of which tower over the lands of Valisthea. They are the source of all the crystals that the people of the twins rely on in their everyday lives. So this is a nice homage to Final Fantasy overall, because that was always the case in those games. You gotta protect the crystals, or you got to inherit power from these crystals just to save the world. Like the very first one, all the crystals were like they were pretty much just turned off. Let's just say that. And your warrior of lights, like all 4 of them, had the keys to turn them back on. And these ones sound very similar to that. Though I thought they would kind of look like Aetherites from Final Fantasy XIV, but glad that they're not kind of just used everything from that game for this. Where was I? Not only that, but the lands surrounding them are rich with Aether, making the magics the crystals cast even more potent. For these reasons, great nations have sprung up around each mother crystal and have long warred with each other for possession of their blessing.
The Iron Blood will not relinquish it easily. This will be a bitter fight.
We ride for Phoenix Gate tomorrow. There we will listen to the words of our ancestors, as tradition dictates.
So they're also kind of like the world of Avatar Airbender and Korra, you know? Like all the water tribe people can waterbend and they're around water. Anyway.
Am I to go with you as Joshua?
Something similar to that.
There is something else I would have you do first. Rodney.
Mm-hmm.
You will have heard the reports, I'm sure, of beastmen from the north being sighted within our borders. Goblins in the Stillwind marshes. I know of the rumors, yes. Then
Stillwind marshes? No, you don't want to talk about that?
you know what must be done. I will give you 2 good men. While we ride north tomorrow, you will journey to Stillwind, search it, and clear it.
Still nothing.
Then
Maybe.
You will join us at Phoenix Gate.
It is time to prove your strength. And shut your mother up for good.
No, nothing about that. I really... Ooh, now I wonder if there's a character that can master all the elements.
I will do my duty, Your Grace.
So later in this game, you see your character, Clive, use not only the Phoenix's powers, but you see him use Titans and Garuda's. So, yeah, there's your answer. I don't know if all of them can actually do this, but Clive definitely can.
That will be all. Rest well. We ride at dawn.
Yes, Your Grace.
Alright, so anything... Alright, the Grand Duchy of Rosario. That's... okay. A nation occupying the western reaches of the continent of Storm, with Rosalith as its capital. Rosario is originally formed from a collection of smaller dominions, all of which stand united under a banner of Archduke Elwyn Rosfield. Not possessing a mother crystal of its own, the duchy has long been locked in a bitter conflict with the Iron Kingdom over possession of Drake's Breath, which lies still further to the west in the midst of the boiling sea. That's odd. What else do you have to say?
We drove the Iron Blood from our shores once before, but their patriarch still dreams of spreading his message to Storm. And when the Crusaders march, they move a damn sight quicker than the Blight ever did.
So we recapture the Mother Crystal, end their ambitions, and secure the duchy.
Only the light of the Phoenix can guide us through these dark days. But that does not mean I'm happy asking this of Joshua. Look after him, won't you?
Even if it costs me my life.
Let's make sure it doesn't come to that.
Anything to add now? Had to wait for that then, now? Alright, how about you?
This war we mean to wage, it isn't only for control of the Mother Crystal. Above all else, we cannot allow those Iron-Blood savages to gain a foothold on Storm.
I know. I would sooner die than see them darken our shores again. I wish you a safe journey tomorrow.
And I you, Clive. May your blade strike true.
Nothing?
Get a good night's sleep, Clive. The morrow may ask much of you. Get a good night's sleep, Clive. The morrow may ask much of you.
What do you say?
I'm trusting in you to keep your brother safe. I'm trusting in you to keep your brother safe.
I was noticing this before. Yeah, it's just a symbol of the Phoenix with daggers. Okay, so 4 daggers, a Phoenix. If that's symbolic of something, I'm not sure what it is. Nope. Can you summon Spicy Boy yet? No, so we're just checking it out, Fluffy. Sorry, I don't know why I paused it. But from what I can understand, so this is what we're trying to figure out. Spicy Boy, for anyone who doesn't know, is Ifrit. Spicy Boy, I can't say his name. Ifrit is just a hidden potential, a hidden icon within this character here. And so far, it looks like he's uncontrollable, unlike the others that can use the icons. Ifrit is just absolutely uncontrollable. And what's weird is that in this kingdom, so that guy in red, that's his dad. All this family is supposed to be revolved around the Phoenix. So their family heritage might have the Phoenix all right through it. And it's usually the firstborn. This guy doesn't have it though. We find out that the second brother has the Phoenix. And that this one has Ifrit all hidden away. But how that works into the story, I'm not entirely sure. Like, what gives? Why is this kid the one that has Ifrit and not the other one? But yeah. If you've paid attention or looked at some of the other trailers for this game, you'll notice something else with Ifrit. I won't say it out loud, but if you give him a check...
No messages, my lord. No messages, my lord.
You will notice something very interesting. But it's a potential spoiler if you're really good at figuring out story and lore. Come on, let me check. No, let me check my book. I'm a book boy. Nothing. Kind of. Kind of. But that's the thing.
Be
Why is there that many of them?
4 days, maybe 5.
And you will be taking Joshua?
Well, I can't exactly leave him behind, can I? The blood of the Rosfields runs in his veins.
There we go, we get to learn about this bitch. Duchess of Rosaria, wife of Archduke Elwyn, and mother to Clive and Joshua. While she adores her younger son, she treats Clive and Jill with naught but thinly veiled contempt. Maybe it's a Final Fantasy XIV situation. That's what I'm thinking as well, but it's like they're going to use Final Fantasy XIV. Wait. You mean with the summons? What do you mean by that then? Well, you reckon they were summoned by you reckon he was summoned by people, whereas this one is just because that's how it works in this one. You have like a holder. Clive is like this holder. You don't want to spoil 14? I mean, that's right at the beginning. You can depending. Are you talking about Ifrit in 14? Because like that's one of the very that's a very close to the beginning quest if that's the case. Like you can talk about that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Before going to war, we perform the rite at Phoenix Gate. It's our way. You know that. And
I
only
reckon
the
it'd be
dominant
fine.
can enter the apothecary, so
If
yes,
that's what you were talking about.
I'm taking Joshua.
Oh, to hell with your way! The boy is ill.
You think I don't know that?
We don't know that. Tell me about it. He's right there. Okay. There's more to this. Dominance, that's what they're called. You're not summoning Ifrit, just a fake version for the prayer and will. Oh, in this game? Well, in this game, it's more like, shit, how would I explain it? It's more like, you become, like, they're literally the summon. So all they have to do is go, like, it's like Attack on Titan. They bite their finger or something. They get triggered in some way and they turn into it. FF8. Guardian Forces, let's go. Yeah, no, let's not do that again. The junctioning was so hard. As much as I love that game. It was not only her beauty, but her connection to the bloodline that produced many previous dominants of the Phoenix that led to her being proposed as a bride for the young Archduke. Indeed, the two are cousins. Oh God. Having known from a young age that her purpose in life was to preserve her phoenix-bearing bloodline, she dotes on Joshua and scorns Clive. So if Clive had the phoenix, she would love him instead. That's fucked. Not to mention the cousin deal, but you know, that's what they did back then. They kind of kept it close to the family. So, yeah. Dominants is what they're called. So the dominants are as like kids like this, and they just transform.
But the boy is also the Phoenix, the heir to the throne. You can't keep him in swaddling clothes all of his life.
Elwyn!
Don't worry. Clive will watch over him. Though he is
Anything about that? No?
for but 15 years, he's already a fine soldier. He will make a splendid shield.
You see more in him than the Phoenix did. He was rejected, Elwyn. Our household has no place for such a failure. He is worthless, a man like any other.
Again, that's her son she's talking about.
My dear.
Nonsense. You are the Archduke of Rosaria.
Oh, not this again. You know as well as I do that I only sit upon the throne because my father was taken before his time. I am merely warming the seat till Joshua comes of age.
Nothing? No. If you're gonna get, you're gonna get,
And you sit upon the
fuck, I've
throne.
forgotten the name of the show.
All is in its right place.
Game of Thrones. You're gonna get Game of
My
Thrones
son,
vibes.
you have not disgraced our noble blood.
Maybe she'll have slept with another man.
Without men like Clive to keep us safe.
What if?
Your precious noble blood.
What
would long
if?
since have graced the gutter.
No, I don't want to fuck you. I want to sleep.
Early start. I'm going to sleep.
I'm gonna sleep in my very nice clothes. Good night. You don't have to sit there, but you can't sit there. I need to sleep. Legit explains why you don't have Ifrit. Phoenix.
This is it then. Time to prove yourself.
Wishing on a
Yeah.
star.
Wishing upon a star, is that part of the law? Oh, okay. There's more to him. First one of the Archduke of Rosaria, though all expected him to inherit the Phoenix's flames and awaken as its dominant, destiny instead chose his younger brother Joshua to bear the burden. In search for a role of his own, Clive dedicated himself to mastering the blade. Wait. Yeah, we've read the rest of it. Just, he didn't get it,
I should
but
get some sleep.
he said, fuck it. If I don't have it, I might as well protect it.
You're going with them tomorrow, aren't you?
Yes.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to protect him. He takes too many risks. I only wish I could save him from himself.
Clive, you...
No, like, unless it has a little thing next to it, there's nothing.
I have another mission too. Father has given me my first command.
Well, if you're not going to pray to Metia for your safe return, I shall just have to do it for you.
Please tell me about... Oh, Metia is the moon! The burning red star which sits beneath them. Oh, okay, never mind. It's the red thing. So the little red thing does have a name. Folklore ascribes to Media the role of the message bearer to the moon. So it is common custom across Bellisthea to wish upon the star that one's heartfelt desire might be conveyed to the heavens of beyond. Ah, okay. A woo. A woo? Why a woo? Oh, the moon! Yes. Yes. Very apt, Fluffy.
There's going to be another war, isn't there?
There's always going to be another
Since
war.
coming here, I've begun to take peace for granted. I assumed the war between our nations would be the last. But it never really ends, does it?
So that makes me believe that she actually was part of the Iron Blood. So she's from the Northern Territories, a bitterly cold region of the northern reaches of the continent of Storm. It was originally home to the mother crystal known as Drake's Eye. Drake's Eye. Okay, so we've had the eye, we have the breath, we have the spine. The music, yeah, music's good. I love Soken's music. It's, man, him. I still like Nobu's music like better, but like Soken is up there with him. This is my first seeing this home, so yeah, seeing this game. Ah, yes. So this is the second stream I've done. So we're actually just picking it apart right now. Around which of a series of small nations sprang up, nations whose belligerence proved troublesome for Rosaria. Over the centuries and time, however, the Mother Crystal's power dwindled, and with it, the power of these warlike nations, with the Blight encroaching on their territory ever more. The remaining tribes were united and pacified by Archduke Elwin Rosefield of Rosaria in the year 854. Okay.
No. The next war will be bigger than before.
But you'll be alright, won't you, Clive?
Hopefully.
You're a shield of Rosaria, after all, and blessed by the Phoenix.
No? Okay. Nothing else to add? See, that's something. That actually must mean something if he's doing like the Kratos.
We should go in.
Come on, tell me more. Tell me that he loves her.
My lady.
Hey, you said it. Oh, does that not mean what I think it means?
Good night, Clive.
He is gay. Couldn't stand to touch her. Ah. That must be it. That totally must be it. But that's okay because it's Pride Month. I'm just kidding. That's okay in general. Chocobo. Ambrosia! Born in the stables of Rosalith Castle, Ambrosia was chosen by the young Clive Rosefield to be his personal steed and raised him from a chickabow even, you could say. She is a proud bird and deeply loyal to her master, quickly turning her beak upon any but he would stand attempt to pet her. Ah, do not pat someone else's chocobo. They will bite you.
Don't worry. I'm sure you'll do brilliantly.
I'll try.
Good luck.
Toot. God, the armor on the chocobos looks so dumb on the faces. On their faces. Excuse me.
May the blessing of the crystals go with us and shield the firebird's flame forevermore!
Oh, there we go. Born before his father, Elwin was born before his father. The previous dominant of the Phoenix passed away, so he did not inherit the Icon's power. Instead, he devoted himself to study swordcraft and statesmanship, that he might lead his country from the front, which he did to wide acclaim. So it really is kind of like Avatar the Airbender, but it's not immediate. So as soon as what is it called? The dominant dies, it's usually the next born of the bloodline to have it. So he was alive, but then, Clive. It was Clive. Nothing happened to him, so it became Joshua. They're like, okay. So now it's like they don't even mention that it's usually the first one afterwards. But they don't change that idea yet. So it's like they already want you to know that's not going to be the case. Kind of seems like a spoiler, but you know. It's only a spoiler if you look into it. Excuse me. Which you're not supposed to look too far into it. Like we are.
Lord Rossfield, allow me. I shall see her safely to Phoenix Gate.
Thank you.
Oh, they let someone else grab him? Okay.
We're ready to depart, my lord.
May I say what an honor it is to serve alongside you?
This is to be no mere investigation. If there are goblins in Stillwind, they won't leave willingly.
We shall be bros on the battlefield.
We underestimate them at our peril.
Alright. Anything? Nothing.
Today we won't.
Sir Wade, Sir Tyler, let us do our duty.
You said their names.
With pleasure, my lord.
You said names. Let me see more. I want to see the lore.
To the marshes, then.
Show me lore.
And may the blessing of the crystals go.
Okay, Fluffy, take it easy. And here we're shown the map. Yeah, it talks about the... So I can only go so far around where I'm actually am. So it's like an actual circle around. But I think those chains represent the kingdom's borders. I'm trying to see if I can move. I'm pressing other buttons and doesn't seem to let me like move in any other direction. Alright. So we've read this already. It's pretty much just swamplands. There we go. Sir Wade, loyal shield of Rosaria, chosen by Lord Commander Rodney Murdoch to accompany Clive on his expedition to Stillwind. Once but a lowborn page, Wade was inspired to join the ranks after Woodpile fell on him, and his life was saved by a young Joshua. Oh, okay. A loyal shield of Rosaria, and scion of a noble family, Tyler followed his father's footsteps in entering the service of the duchy, rising to the position of right-hand man to the Lord Commander. He was chosen by Lord Murdoch to accompany Clive in his expedition to Stillwind, a level head who could be trusted not only to obey the young Lord Marquis's orders and keep him safe, but to help keep the fiery Sir Wade in line. Ah, so he's fiery. Okay. Alright. Stillwind Marsh. An area of swampland that stretches northeast from the Rosalith Castle. The odd village could once be found here, but nothing to compare to the lively settlements that line the main roads of the realm. And with the encroachment of the blight and the creatures driven before it, even the scant settlements are soon deserted. I say there's a lot of contents for a demo. So yeah, this is the very beginning of the game. So they give you like an introduction to it so you can get a little bit more invested in the game before it comes out. And apparently you can save it and you can save it in the demo and it will excuse me, my mind's blanking. and that save can go into the full game when you get it. So yeah. So you don't have to go through all this again if you don't want to. Goblins are common species of beastmen. While at first glance they may seem like mindless predators, goblins have their own unique language and are skilled enough to both cast magics and make rudimentary tools and weapons. While mostly found on the continent of Storm, the spread of the Blight has forced them to find homes nearby human settlements, a move that oft ends in misunderstanding and bloodshed. Ah, so convenient. Yeah, yeah, they thought of everything. It's very nice. But yeah, we're reading into the lore where, like, most people wouldn't. Like, most people wouldn't really just, like, click onto the lore page.
Those goblins. The reports placed them in this area. It's all swamps from here. Watch your step, my lord. And everything else.
Alright, now we're back here. So let's actually look around the swamp. Lost in a fog. Yeah, alright, so they're trying to teach us to use this, and I'm like, okay, don't really wanna. I really don't want to. I don't want unequip. Having those on just makes the game easier, and I kind of want to just try it out. But they just straight up crawl through a bush. Okay. Is there anything more? No. So, in Final Fantasy 15, the development team got sent to certain places, like all around the world.
And who do you imagine would maintain it? They've all fled from the Blight.
As I was saying, they got sent to places around the world to check out like key locations for inspiration and for reference. So instead of just going on the internet, like other game developers go, they got the exclusive to actually go to those countries to see what they look like. So
It's hard to believe that anyone used to live here.
It wouldn't be any surprise if they did it for this.
Not that there's a lot left of it.
Not really leaving much of a like footprints. It's a shame. So you can only imagine where they've been to. Let's see what this looks like. We got Gil. Okay. So I don't think I got Gil here last time. A little vegetation. What's a well-known swampy place? Florida. They might have got sent to Florida to check out the place. Who knows? So you sometimes vault, okay? But only when you want to. I understand you, Clyde. You're a funny one. And here come the goblins. The weird sounding goblins. They sound like creepy toddlers.
me.
Right.
Goblins. So the reports were true.
We should press on. There may be more ahead.
No rag physics? Ragdoll physics? Nah. Okay. Anything to add to go? Oh, they now have a picture. Alright. How about over here? Can we see anything else over here? No, I see nothing. Absolutely nothing. Alright, so here's a little digging. Hello, bird. We now see a dilapidated house. Right here. Looks like it's been broken for years. Look at this wood. It hasn't been treated in ages. So this has been like this for years. Maybe a decade even. So I'd imagine it would be completely rotted by a decade, depending on the wood. Got moss growing all over it. So there might have been a village here at one point. And like they said, because of the blight, it's pushed goblins towards more settlements with humans. So them being here, the goblins must have been here for like for years.
Welcome to Stillwind.
Have care, my lord.
So it would be, I wonder if any of them have taken refuge in any of these places. Like, where is the goblin homes? I think I see them. They might be like living in like these homes here. Who knows?
There's more.
Loot. Yeah, I know. I've got magnetism. Nope, still don't learn anything. See, like this used to, I imagine this used to be like either like the main living quarters with all the shelves and storages. Could have been just a storage place, but I don't think there's enough shelves for that. Got a little room here. An out back. Yeah. Could have been just like a grand hall even. Looks big and prestigious enough. Not sure what that, or why there's rope there. What that could be used for. Usually does a thing. Gotta go prep dinner, so have fun exploring? Oh good man. Enjoy dinner. We got a broken down house. What can we see inside? You can see beds. So there used to be a bedroom. So this was a house that people actually sleep in. Whereas that one didn't have any beds. So interesting. Yeah. Super duper strong. And we got this place. Which also, that looks just very similar to the place that we were just at. Can't destroy boxes. Pity. The second story. Oh, okay, so this is definitely a bed, so maybe... I was gonna say, is this the only house that has a second floor? That's usually prestigious if every other house is just one story. I just want to see if I can jump up on that little ledge. I don't think I can, but you know, let's just give it a check. Wah! No. Alright. Just, I can't decipher anything from this. It just looks like part of a smaller, a bigger house. Alright, up we go. Alright, pressing jump kicks you off. Burnt! Pressing L1 locks on. Nothing seems to work here at the moment.
Watch out, my lord. Some of their number are spell slings. And what a number! We'll all have our hands full here.
Oh, okay. I just dodged right into that. Just like segmented villages. Reminds me of Fable. I think like the very first town did that. I don't know if any of the other ones did it. I didn't play too much into it. Yeah. Accordion. I think this is where they would normally just keep wood. They got like a lumber yard. A tower. Oh. How about over here? More swampy lands. Actually, let's look at you guys. Or actually, is there more stuff? No, I kind of wanted them to talk more about the goblins, since they can be also mages too. Okay, nothing too spectacular about their weapons and their armor. They definitely desire speed out of the rather than protection in this game. In this kingdom, I should say.
We should be nearing the old village square. It might not be a nest of goblins.
There's an explanation to the butterflies. Nice. Alright, so this is going to be an ambush because I can't control it.
sods. We're trapped.
My lord.
Goblins are more smarter than they look.
He's the leader. But we'll have to take care of his followers first. Care to thin the herd? As if you have to ask.
Oh, he's pierced.
Shit! He's invited a friend!
A lot of swearing in this.
On your feet, Sir Wade. Here it comes.
Yeah, he's bigger.
Founder, that's a swing and a half. Be ready to move when it winds up for another. You don't have to tell me twice.
Right, partial, yeah, so pressured. Oh, fuck. I need to work on those timings. And he's staggered. Yeah. And he's dead. Done. Now, hopefully we get to learn something about the Gigas. Level up. Hard leather armlets. Yeah, you better run.
Come back and fight, you coward!
It's
After
fucking.
him, before he summons the rest.
It's a goblin. Alright, so we'll put that on just because they want us to. And it helps us out. But I want to learn more about the Gigas. Tell me more about Gigas. No? Want to get this item? Let's see if we can go backwards. Like, how far backwards can we go? Like, do we unlock anything? More big houses. That's been abandoned for years. It's a shame that no one ever came back to this and just thought, hey, why don't we just set up a base here? Like, why didn't they do that? Why did they not try to come back and save this place? Like, why did they deem this place too, I totally hit you. Yes, run backwards. He's like a Harry Potter. So even the goblins can use magic, so if not only people can use it, why can the goblins? And it doesn't really explain. Doesn't really explain why or how. He's got a little goatee, I noticed.
This ends now.
Nothing weird looks like is about to happen.
What's in there?
So it's not a Malboro. It's an actual Marlboro.
My lord. That thing's breath is worse than its bite.
It's R1, right? Right. Alright. Right, gotta move to the side, so... I forgot to do this. Can I do this now? I guess not.
Where's it going? Your guess is as good as mine.
Going under. Right, I wanna botch those up.
Before it recovers.
Back attack? Ooh! So what if I stand right in the middle? Or really close to him? Alright, so I'm gonna botch it up. I'm not gonna press any buttons. Nope! You're literally trying to give it to me, aren't you? I am pressing every other button. Even that one. Alright.
Now for the final push, my lord.
Come on, dog. Oh! I timed it and I knocked them off. So if I time it right, I can knock him off his legs. Interesting. Yeah, he levels up. Yeah. Okay. But still have abilities that I haven't even attempted yet. And speaking of which, you can respect any ability anytime during the game, except battles. That's the part they don't tell you about. But you know, there's some obviousness to it.
Not just goblins in Rosaria, but morbals too. I'll petition His Grace to send a detachment.
No, still nothing. Still didn't add anything.
If we don't stop them here, they'll be at our gates before long.
Just have to check.
We should get moving. We don't want to be caught out here after dark.
If we set off now, we can still reach Phoenix Gate before nightfall.
Anything? No? Well, I didn't think about this before I made it. Yeah, I thought so. Click those off. That'll help me recording. Help me with the recording later. Okay. So it still can't do anything. Unable to travel to this location because you are already at this location. I like the little lighting effect they have, so they can show you what you're looking at.
Suddenly, thousands of red eyes.
The ducal army. Alright. The ducal army, the loyal soldiery of the Duchy of Rosaria, they served under the standing army's Lord Commander, whose task is to enact the will of the sovereign, the Archduke. Those who show sufficient aptitude, or who are blessed with sufficient nobility of birth, are made shields, personal retainers to the Archduke himself. Phoenix Gate, a walled-up keep situated near Rosaria's northwestern border. It was originally constructed to serve as an outpost in the wars against the Northern Territories, but its true significance lies deep within the ruins atop which the stronghold stands. Here in the ancient chamber, accessible only to the dominant of fire, is held the rite of ancestral communion, an important ritual in which it is believed that the phoenix can hear the words of the duchy's forebears. Again, it's starting to sound more and more like the Avatar.
No, wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear this. His lordship draws his sword. The goblin chief runs off screaming straight down a mortal's gullet.
Very funny, Sir Wade.
Drink and be merry, boys!
There's more. Ah, but nothing to add. Alright.
Gratifying to see your student making such a name for himself. The young lord has a bright future ahead of him.
Aye, One of these nights he may even deign to join us.
Oh, Joshua. Not seeing any of it. Not liking any of it. Is there law about the music, the songs they're going to sing?
Are you unwell?
No, Father. Just a little tired.
Well, it has been a long day.
Come on, just give me any sort of lore. Even one where it's just like, Joshua is always tired because he's an obnoxious little shit. He's not. But it'd be funny. Just show me something new. His love for carrots, less so, though. He just doesn't like carrots.
Don't they?
Aye. Your brother will be a fine shield. We're all very proud of him.
Father?
Mother isn't.
Why is it that the dominance is always born into our family?
That's a good question.
Doesn't seem fair.
Doesn't it?
We cannot live without the blessing of the crystals. And the crystals work their magic through us.
Right.
You have been blessed, Joshua. Blessed to be a dominant, to wield the power of an icon. Our family has been chosen to share that power with the people.
Okay,
so that is what we must
explain more about dominance, right? Oh, please. Hey.
Louder, my friends! Louder!
Everyone just having a good time. Good times.
Poor Jill. She'll be wondering why you...
Oh, Toggle.
too. So much for you being a fine hound.
Feel bad for Joshua. So much weight. Yeah. It must be confusing for him too, since, like,
So this is where you've been hiding?
he's like the second kid to have it.
What are you doing out here?
So, not only so much weight, a lot of confusion to why he has that weight.
Shields are allowed to take their ease, and I've never really been one for cakes and ale.
Any reason? No? Okay.
It's the vegetables I don't like.
Yes. Your hatred for carrots. Oh, little Toggle.
I hear you slew a marble. All the men were singing your praises.
They never used to. When I joined the ranks, everyone thought I was a spoiled little lordling. If I didn't know how to handle a sword, I'd be a laughing stock. The Archduke's firstborn failure.
Anything? No? Okay.
You're the one they really believe in. I'm jealous.
That's not true. believe in me, they believe in the power of the dominant.
My brother the Phoenix.
You thought it was meat to begin with?
Ruler over life and death.
Yeah.
Isn't fair.
Makes more sense that it's carrots than eh?
You.
Really does.
I don't have what it takes to lead our people. I don't have the strength. But you do.
So frustrated with Vane.
Every man has his duty. Ours was decided long ago, when our ancestors chose to instate the dominant as the Archduke of Rosaria. All to ensure that whenever our nation stood on a precipice, the Phoenix would rise from the flames to drag us back from the brink. The fate of Rosaria sits on the dominant's shoulders. It is your duty to bear that burden.
What about you?
Can't you do it? That's what he's asking. He really is. House of Rosefield. Alright. Highest of the noble houses of Rosaria. The dominant of the Phoenix is always born into the Rosefield line. And so it's always a Rossfield who sits upon the ducal throne. Right, because, you know, the chances of them being the Phoenix.
That is why I was given the Phoenix's blessing. To keep our future rulers safe. No matter what. However hard it gets. I'll never let you down.
Thank you, Clive. I know you'll always take care of me.
Before I can do that, you need to take care of yourself.
No, still nothing.
Right?
I should go inside. It's past my bedtime. Good night, Torgal.
No. Ah, darn. Oh. Wonder if it will say anything about this after, like, all the events after this.
Supplies from the capital. You took your time sampling the wares, were ya?
It's a good job the North is full of enterprising traders keen to keep us in wine.
Spare a barrel for the boys on duty, eh?
What in the...
Shit is going down. No, still nothing.
Gateway secured, Captain.
We proceed as planned.
So what army is this? That's the part I didn't know anything about. It might be the northern territories, but not entirely sure. use it for everyday use. That's always interesting when people use magic, just for just little things, just like that. Like we could just use it just to stop the stove.
Forgive me, my prince. It's me, Wade. You probably don't remember me.
Yes, we just get on with it.
I remember. What is it?
We're under attack. I don't know who they are, but they've set light to half the castle. I must get you to safety, Your Highness.
Very well. I'm ready.
Follow me, Your Highness.
Alright. Anything new? No. Having little fire whips is really cute. And we can learn a little bit about the equipment he's wearing, but like we've already looked through this in the previous stream. But I didn't notice the pixels down below. He looks so cute as his little pixel version of himself. So yeah, he doesn't use the sword. But he gets really winded when he uses the fire. What happens if I press and hold it? Okay. And he's got Curaga. So using any kind of magic just fatigues him.
Inside the castle?
I'm afraid so, Your Highness. We must hurry.
We're gonna try using the attacks with him and see if that does anything. Like, can he combo with them? Nope. Okay. So he's right at the top keep of the keep, which makes sense.
What was that?
We have to help them. Everything's on fire.
Fall back, Your Highness. He's not one of us.
No, I must do my duty.
Nope, you cannot combo it.
I saw them at the feast. They were laughing.
This is Sambraquagab. But why would the Empire...
Sambragua.
We must find my
Sambragua.
father.
Okay. The Holy Empire of the Sambragua. Sambra, whatever. A nation occupying the northeastern reaches of the continent of Storm, with the great city of Oriflamme as its capital. Sambrique is the realm's largest theocracy and home of the Mother Crystal's Drake's Head. Under the rule of the Holy Emperor, the people of Sambrique enjoy a life of plenty, thanks to the crystal's blessing, which they believe to be a gift from the goddess Gregor herself. Gregor. Gonna get hurt by the fire? No. It only just annoys him. Whoops. Fire!
Damn it, the bastards are everywhere.
Why would the Empire do this? They're our allies.
That's a good question. I wonder why too. Right, I want to check down below. How about outside? Can we see anything outside? No, we can't. And this is just a little storage area, so nothing really there. Still nothing. And here we have the other guy.
Tyler!
Yeah, that guy, not Wedge.
Damn it! His wounds are deep.
I can save him.
Your Highness,
Oh, shush.
Don't worry. You're going to be all right.
I'll hold them off.
Clive!
Joshua! Come here. Tyler, you're hurt.
I'll survive. Thanks to His Highness.
Nothing? Nothing? Really? Nothing? Okay.
Lord Murdoch!
Two new people. Yay! We got 6 people.
You rescued the young prince. Well done, Sir Wade.
I'm in your debt, soldier.
Thank you, Your Grace.
We will give you 3 slaves. Not a slave more.
Stay here. We should make straight for the rear gate.
Now this is something I want to learn about. Like, what do they do with the owls? Like, they're messenger birds. Stoluses. Oh, very apt for a name. Very apt. Owls capable of transmitting the thoughts of others, specifically those with whom they are tuned, in response to an ancient incantation. Their lithified third eyes store these thoughts in the form of aether, allowing them to be passed on as and when required, though only to the intended recipient. Stoluses are mainly kept by royals, nobles, and other figures of authority for the purpose of sending secret or urgent messages, and are seldom available to common folk. The incantation, O mia lost Ilan, tu isag elith can be loosely translated as, my will is now thy burden. Ne'er cleft our bond shall be.
Lost Alan, tu isag elith.
Well, there you go. We just figured out what he said. What he just said. That is awesome.
The north gate's up ahead. There are chocobos in the stables. Father, take Joshua and get to safety.
No, I'm not going without you. You're supposed to be my shield, remember?
I remember, which is why I'm going to hold the enemy here while you make your escape.
I will order our remaining forces to rally at the gate. Now go.
I will do my duty.
It kind of look weird crying when you're trying to cry, man. But I get you.
I know.
You have to keep Father safe. I'm counting on you, Joshua.
Alrighty. So, alright. So we've already been through all these.
We're too late. Everyone's dead.
Yep, they do be dead. I can go through that one. No, I cannot. Still says nothing. Crap.
Captain.
Oh dear.
Let none escape.
As you command.
There isn't any nuns. But we won't let any of them escape.
I'll keep the others occupied.
Oh, that was easy.
That's them done. Are you alright?
I'm fine.
I wonder.
It's my father and Joshua I'm worried about. We should head back.
Ah. Oh, so he just appears out of nowhere. Alrighty, I'm glad we caught that. No. No, I'm gonna let it hit me. Do it. Alrighty.
Forgive me for cutting in.
No, screw you. No, 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 no.
Not that it will save you.
Okay. Use square as an opponent attacks. Alright, let's try and parry this. So, parry system is so good. Hard to pull off, really cool if you can land it. Alright. Nope. Gonna miss it. What happens? Didn't time that one very well. Right, I forgot what I was trying to do. Alright. Okay. Alright. Alright, can't parry that one. Okay. Alright. Come on. I want to try and get one more parry. Come on. Let me get one more parry in. So I have to hit it right before. So his second jump is more faster. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, let me try and do it. There we go. I just knock him off his feet midair. Level 8. There we are, the Imperial Army. The assembled forces of the Holy Empire of Sambrique. While officially under the command of the Cardinals, it is Holy Empire Sylvestre Lesage whom the Legion truly serves. On the battlefield, the Dragoons' peerless lancers renowned throughout the realm, the Empire's keenest weapon, descending from the skies to sow terror, to sow terror and disarray among their hapless foes. Be interesting to see a more authentic Dragoon in video games. Like, Dragoons are a real thing, but they're not Lancers. They're Russians with sabers.
Not yet. Their numbers were too few. They were not here to take the castle. They were here to take heads. Our work is done. We should return to my father.
My lord, look. We issued these sashes but yesterday, in Rosalith. If they were already among us, what if there were others?
Father and Joshua are in danger.
We must hurry. Take your steed.
Nothing. Alright. So a thing someone pointed out is that whistle is the whistle that Yuna does in Final Fantasy X on the docks. So they're just reusing. It's really nice when you point that out.
What is that?
So I got the feeling that this guy is another icon, or whatever holds the icons, or he is the one that triggers him to have Ifrit. Like, we already know there's 2 Ifrits in this. I get the feeling that he might be the other Ifrit.
Oh, all right. Thank
But that's only a guess.
goodness.
There's really no evidence to back it up, except the only person that's seen him so far is
Great.
Clive.
Everyone safe? For the moment. We ride for Rosalith to rally our forces. I will need your help to see Joshua safely back to the capital. On you get. Joshua.
Hate seeing a Chocobo get hurt.
Father?
I'm sorry, Your Grace, but that won't be possible.
Killed the Stolas.
You honorless snakes!
Stay back! I'm warning you!
Run, Joshua, run! No!
So the depiction here is that he got decapitated. We can't see that. All we see is just his head right there, but we don't see the body attached to it, if it is. But holy fuck, is that really hard to see. Whether that's shown on American games, the American version or not, I'm not sure. I don't think Japan is okay with decapitation either. I know Australia isn't, but like, it might be a censor for my country, or Japan, like, has done it for all the games in general.
I'm counting on you, Joshua.
Okay, so he's turning into the Phoenix now, so maybe we can see something along the lines of that. Run, Torgal! Run! He can set people on fire. Come on! Toss me a bone! I'm trying to get info. Dump the lore. Let me see it.
Phoenix.
Poor kid. There we go. Phoenix. No? Still nothing? Alright.
The Phoenix!
I wonder if they've ever seen the Phoenix before. There we go. He is now. It used to be Joshua was over here, but now it's just showing now it's just showing the Phoenix. The Phoenix, the Warden of Fire, whose strength resides within Joshua Rossfield, heir to the Rosarian throne. The Phoenix is always born in the ducal line, the ducal line, and is worshipped by the populace, not least because its flames are both destruction and regeneration. Not least because have delivered the duchy from disaster many times over. So, I'm wondering. Yeah. Alright, so. still further proves that this is kind of like Avatar. Like, you can lose your control. You can lose control over the of yourself over the Avatar state. But it's also like Naruto with those inner beasts. Initially, they lose control when they don't know how to when they're not sure how to do it. Oh, Fluffy! Good timing. Good timing when you asked that question. You're about to bear witness to it. One moment. So this is the start of it. There you are. No, he had no clue that he had Ifrit. This is the first time he turns into Ifrit. He has no idea. He had no idea he had this in him. Right now, he has no idea what's going on. He has no control over Ifrit. Ain't it? Ain't it cool? And the other thing is, Joshua, the little boy, did he just burn his friend? He killed him. Burnt and killed his friend. His teacher, even. But what's even worse is Joshua, the Phoenix right now, has no idea who he is. And they're now fighting. And here we are. The first icon fight. And it's not called Ifrit. It's called the Icon of Fire. I already know how to fight, so... all I have to do is point and aim and shoot. So from what I understand, they didn't even know this was another icon. They've been used to, like, probably the Phoenix, Garuda, Titan, and they've never heard of anyone else. So seeing this icon must be, like, news to them. Like, they would have never have seen this. Oh god, the frame rate. I'm gonna let him attack me, see what happens. Really not that hard to. The fire, it only heals it. Haha. Yeah. So, yeah. Phoenix has both. Has the best of both worlds. It can regen and it can hurt. Whereas Ifrit is just pure destruction. Apparently parkour skills too. Nope, hit me. Do it. I'm really sorry about the frame rate, I really can't control it. I'll see what I can do to improve the frame rate, but so far I'm not entirely sure. Why is the frame bad? Isn't this PS5? Might be because of that, and also I'm streaming it. I'm not entirely sure. It might be Elgato. No! I'm not gonna hit him! Never! Does it hurt me if I didn't do it, or is it just not gonna hurt him? It's not gonna hurt him. Okay. Sorry, sorry. Alright, so is there a... no. If you were using the PS5 to stream... One moment. Sorry, I can't read while doing this. If you're using the PS5 to stream this, I would understand, but if it's Elgato, then it shouldn't tax the PS5. So I guess it must be the PS5 then. Damnation in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The thing is, regardless if he got his health down to 0, he still throws it. And he still does Hellfire. And it still does this amount of damage. It still kills you. But because it's the Phoenix... Never mind, it kills you! Okay. Okay, so, they reduced down the HP, interesting. Alright, so he's got low enough health. I guess you need to hit the quick time events. I thought that just now, but I don't. Yeah, actually, yeah. Because I was able to do it fine first time. 3. Ah, there we go. He got weakened, so he had to throw it sooner. But here's the thing. Still kills you. Revives. Icon of Fire vanquished. Which is very presumptuous. It looked like a tad smaller, maybe. The HP bar? Yeah, I think they intentionally did that so they can help you progress. So right at the beginning, you have the choice of having action-orientated game or a story-orientated. The first time I did action, this time I'm doing story, so I'm thinking, because I chose story this time, they gave me the W. The Hellfire. Yeah, because I killed him faster. Was that Spicy Boy? That is Spicy Boy, yes. Welcome back, Zent. Welcome back, Zenti. There's Spicy Boy right on the ground there. Now here's where it's devastating. So this might be a little bit much for some people, because those two are brothers. It's Big Brother is now beating the shit out of Small Brother. So Clyde now can now see. Clive. Anyone who's looking awake can now look. Yeah, this game goes really hard. This is just the intro too, man.
Damn shame about the Phoenix, but can't be helped. Oh, my condolences, Your Grace. Is there aught we can do?
Haven't you done enough, Captain? Joshua was my world, and now he is gone.
It's a refreshing new story. They don't do this. Yeah, they really don't make it that gritty in Final Fantasy games. It is interesting to see.
Your Grace, over here.
So here's his mother. Back to lurking. All good, man. Here's the mother back
Shall we take him prisoner?
in the scene.
Kill him.
Obviously with a different legion.
My never tired of telling me. He is a fine soldier. I'm sure he would make an excellent addition to the Imperial front line. All in its right place.
Take this one. Chin up. up, lad. You're going to be a soldier.
And here you have it. Final Fantasy 16. Well, this game is coming out in 2 days. Really, really looking forward to seeing how this ends. But seeing what else they're gonna add. I do not want to make one. What? Okay, I'll just delete then. Why did you bother? Okay. But yeah, that is all I'm going to be doing for today. Thank you all for joining me for another more in-depth look into Final Fantasy 16. I'll be playing Sea of Thieves tomorrow with Desolate and Alakay. And Fluffy Boy from what I've been told. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. Have a good day.